完璧。
Hey folks, sorry for the long absence. Just some personal matters arise for a couple of days. Today I am back with another Scar Rail video. This time, as you can see, we'll be featuring Kuru, or rather, Herta. But as for my Yu-Gi-Oh content, for those who watch my Yu-Gi-Oh content, I will have stuff up later this week in regards to Draco Slayer coming, I think, relatively next week or so. So do stay tuned for that. But anyway, here are the stats for my Herta. And yeah, let's begin. Alright, so we're gonna go into Safer Comp first because this stage tends to do a lot of AoE damage and it can get quite nasty if your one sustainer does not have enough to sustain your team. That's why I have one healer like Bailu and one shielder like Japar. And then the rest just comes down to damage at that point, which I should have enough because I have coverage. Anyway, for most people who don't, just try your best, and at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? But anyway, the reason I'm bringing two shield is because of this specific enemy here. If I kill two of those fishes, which Herta will do because she's AoE, they will respawn and will consistently do a bunch of AoE damage, meaning I won't have enough sustain like I said before. But also because I'm bringing AoE, they also on death will explode, apply defense down to the middle enemy, as well as doing some reasonable amounts of damage per defense stack. I believe the stack is a total of 4. So you manage to kill a bunch within a reasonable amount of turns. You can look at like a 60, 120, or 150% defense down, which is a lot of defense down, meaning that Herta's single target damage will be quite enormous. That's why you only need one buffer like Bronya in this situation rather than bring someone like Pello or Silverwolf, because the two fishes are relatively squishy, as you saw. Yeah, that's basically the gist of this. If you're still struggling, it's really just AoE for this phase that will give you, ultimately give you enough turns for the last stage, which is Kafka. But this is the first comp. I will show you a second comp after this one.
私が誰こんな大きなダイヤモンドあげるね。グドリン。
そこまでか。私
をいじめるな。
我々はとうに嵐に踏み入った。守るべき者のために打ち崩せ。
重傷じゃの。よいしょ。
我に力を。
正義はここにあり、ランドゥの名の氷雪の志は朽ちることなし。
這い上がれ。
見せてや強弾の薬よ。
感謝する。
生死の変
化。この程度か。
直してやろう。トリア。
代価を払ってもらう。我に力を。
くるくる。私が誰だかこんな大きなダイヤモンドあげるね。くるりん。足をいじめるな。
我々はとうに嵐に踏み入った。守るべき者のために打ち崩せ。
壊れないよ。
その命は身にまといつけ。避けられない。我に力を。
はっとくるくる。重傷じゃの。よいしょ。
覚悟しろ。
守
ランドゥの名の氷雪の志は朽ちることなし。
我に力を。
感謝してね。ふっはっくるりん。私が誰だかこんな大きなダイヤモンドあげるね。くるくる弱っておるの。とりゃ見せてよ、何の薬よ。察しがいいのね。
我々はとうに嵐に踏み入った。守るべき者のために打ち崩せ。
終わるの。
代価を払っても我に力を。
何見てるの。はっとくるりん。
Alrighty, for my second comp, I'll be using Clara because I want to provide an extra damage source due to her to not having enough damage overall, since her multipliers are quite low, even at E6. And when you look at it from a single target perspective, it's just not enough because her entire kit is mostly focused towards AoE. So I want to try to add an additional source, and the best thing that I know of is Clara, because she's both a tank, so it helps out with survivability because of her self-taunt, of course, and also because she applies counters, which will help with the damage overall, especially on enhance. So with those two together, you have free synergy with your supports, but it really just comes down to, at the end of the day, whether or not your support can provide damage buff to both Clara and Herta. Otherwise, you might have to just focus on one of them, which is kind of tricky. But other than that, yeah, you can treat Clara in this situation like a sub DPS, and then Herta as the main tier DPS. Due to the one thing that I said before is that the fish tends to put defense down, which is an extra damage boost anyway. But that's basically the thought process behind this comp. And if you are struggling with the new Xianzhou memory haul, try thinking about bringing 2 DPS plus 1 support, 1 buffer and 1 healer, of course. And then if you have enough turns afterwards, you can go nuts with the second stage, because the second stage is quite easy. It's due to it not having too much issues with like the first stage, where the middle enemy is tanky and the 2 side enemies constantly respawn, of course. But yeah, that's really about it for the stage. I really like Herta. She's pretty fun for 4-star, and Kuru is supremacy, right? But yeah, that's really about it. So if you have any questions or anything, just leave in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. And stay tuned for my Draco Slayer stuff coming this week, and I think next week as well. But yeah, that's about it, and take care, everybody.
もうじゃサイリン
くるりん。
ベレシコ